And I also have a super chat to start this off, guys. In your opinion, what is a bigger move by the Guardians, trading for Noah or bringing up Oscar? And that's from Professor Chaos for $5. So thank you for the super chat.
Well, it's definitely bringing up Oscar Gonzalez. Noah Syndergaard. See, I know you guys probably, obviously talked about the trade yesterday, so I just wanted to chime in. I did a short about it. I was a little surprised at first when they traded Rosario for Syndergaard. I assumed if they traded him, they would trade him for a minor leaguer. It kind of makes me wonder. See, I think at this point the Guardians are not going to do a full sell-off because they don't have much to sell. They're not going to trade Bieber because he's hurt. But I wonder, and then I thought, well, maybe they got Syndergaard because they're going to trade Savali. And then I thought about it, and I said, no, the reason they got Syndergaard is because they have 3 rookie pitchers, and they don't want those guys to throw too many innings. They don't want them to overdo it in the rookie year. That's why they got Syndergaard. Now, can Syndergaard stay healthy enough to cover some innings and pitch well enough to cover some innings? That's a question, but at least he's a veteran. He's been in the league. It wouldn't stun me if he was decent for them the last 2 months. It also wouldn't stun me if he was a total piece of crap the last 2 months. But there's still got to be something in there. I don't believe the guy's totally shot. He's not that old. He's only like 31, I think. So I do like the deal, even though I like Ahmad Rosario better than Syndergaard. Rosario is going to be gone at the end of the year. Yep. It's time to let more young players play. Oscar Gonzalez, at the very least, should be playing every day against lefties. I'd play him every day, frankly. I'd play him every day in right field. I'd have Brennan play center field and Quan play left, or I'd play Quan in center and Brennan in left, whatever. I would play those 3 guys. To me, Straw should go to the bench with Oscar up and be a 4th outfielder. I don't know what they're going to do. I doubt they'll actually do that. My guess is they'll end up platooning Will Brennan and Oscar Gonzalez in right. But now whether it's Tyler Freeman or Gabriel Arias, one of those young guys is going to get a chance to play pretty much every day.
Well, Gabriel played really well yesterday.
Yeah, and he's been terrible so far, but maybe if he's getting regular playing time, he'll play better. It was time to move on from Rosario. I don't think people need to kill him on the way out. He was a pretty good player for the Guardians.
He had some clutch hits this season, so I don't know.
He was playing well for the last month, but it was time to move on. He was not part of their future. It was time to let the young guys play. And, Giménez batting high in the lineup. I like to see that. And he had a good day yesterday.
Bull, it's just, to me, it's just like when I look at the roster, there's no stars.
Jose's a star.
Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying. But,
and Josh Naylor's having a star.
I'm about to say the Naylor brothers both
been great.
Pretty good.
I think you mentioned.
But there's not a lot of stars.
It's not especially at the positions that you want stars.
Yeah.
Like your shortstop, your center fielder. You don't have.
Oh, I'm interested to see your trade.
They just don't have. It's just like the pop. If you ain't gonna have no pop with the veterans, I just play all the young guys and see how far they can get.
That's right. Well, at this point, they don't have a lot to trade anyway. They might as well go for it. You're 500. The division stinks, and even though it seems unlikely that the Guardians can make a run in the playoffs, you never know. It's baseball, and weird things happen. And especially, it's a huge if. I'm not counting on it, but in theory, if you had Bieber and McKenzie back for the playoffs to go with Gavin Williams and Tanner Bibee and Savali, that's a really good rotation. Now, will they have those 2 guys? I'm skeptical. Neither one's going to be back before September. I'm skeptical that either will be back this year. But if they could, and they could be potentially dangerous even with their awful lineup. If I'm the Guardians, I'm going to get a little aggressive and actually go the other way and try to make a trade for another hitter. I hope they do that and trade away. You have so many minor leaguers. You've given away some good hitters. You traded Yandy Diaz. He's great for Tampa. You traded Nolan Jones. He's having a good season for Colorado. It's time for them to add a proven hitter. I'd like to see them do that. We'll see. Let's see what the trades are.
I'm about to say that has to do
I was
going to
say, we have your guys' headlines ready.
Right.
As soon as you're ready, Bull, we'll start with you.
Okay.
So you guys didn't actually give me headlines. You just gave me trades. So
I didn't remember you send the headline in that.
It
Oh,
did
good.
say
My
headline,
bad.
no.
So here's
my
Bulls. It's O'Neal. Guardians acquire Tyler O'Neill for a minor league pitcher.
Yeah, and I didn't get into the details on the pitcher because I answered that question. I think I was traveling or whatever it was. I don't remember. But the Guardians develop 1 million pitchers. Well, nobody on the current roster. Tyler O'Neill doesn't have a ton of value, but he has got a lot of upside if he can stay healthy. He's controllable through next year. He's a good defensive player. He's got speed. He's got power. He's had a bad season. He's been hurt. But I think you get him for a middling minor league starting, a middling minor league pitcher, and you add a legitimate bat to the lineup. They need more than one, but I think potentially he could be their third or fourth best hitter for the final 2 months of the season.
I'll take it. I would take it.
If it's a stick, I'm down for it.
I like the controllables. That's the one thing about my trade is that it's just for the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's next?
All right, so G's going to be up next, and he's sticking with the bat. So he's got 1-800 rent a bat. Yeah. Guardians trade Brinson and prospects for Randall. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
Randall Grichuk. So I don't think you'd have to trade Will Brinson, G, to get him.
Really?
Yeah, no. I think you could just trade the prospects.
Okay.
I think I'm fine with getting Grichuk. He's kind of past his prime, I think, at this point.
31.
But I don't know what kind of year he's having. I haven't paid close attention.
246 plate appearances.
Yeah.
313, 370, 487 with 6 home runs, 19 doubles, 25 RBIs.
Yeah, I mean,
120 OPS.
He's fine. I mean, he's in that Tyler O'Neill vein, except O'Neill's got a little more upside because he's younger.
How many years is he controllable?
This is a
I
little
think
rental.
he's a free agent.
Yeah.
So this is just the 1 year. Yeah. Okay, you in the same boat as me.
1-800 rental.
Oh, well, I shot for the Stars on mine, so.
Yeah.
He did.
But
You
it
want
wasn't.
to read yours?
Yeah, let's see what time.
I shot for the
Shohei. Did you go for Shohei?
No, I didn't go for Shohei. I said
go that crazy.
I said I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, but I went with Cody Bellinger. I thought that was, obviously it's going to take a lot because he's having a freaking year as of lately. But
see, this would be a great move by them.
But it's only for the year, though.
Couple things. It is only for the year, and they're not. He's going to get a nice contract at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't think the Cubs are going to dump now. I thought they would for a while, but they've actually gotten hot.
And he's a
they
part
just
of
got
it.
back to 500 yesterday with their win. And their division, while it's not as bad as the American League Central, it's still not great. Cubs are only 4.5 games out of a playoff spot.
Isn't he hitting like one of the best hitters
been the
for
best
like the past month or something like that?
In July, he's like one of the 2 best hitters in baseball.
Yeah.
And the guy has a track record. He's been an MVP. The Cubs could get
that would be
crap load
nice
for him.
That'd be nice to get that.
You'd have to give up top,
nice.
unlike Grichuk and O'Neill, you'd have to give up. The Cubs would probably want, Tanner Bibee maybe.
Oh,
and I don't think the Guardians would do that. So
For a year?
No.
to get an impact, he's the only impact bat.
Yeah.
He's the only massive impact bat on the market. But I actually don't think the Cubs are going to trade him. I think they're going to keep him and try to sign him to an extension.
trade Allen.
But we'll see.
I trade Allen.
you give him that?
But here's the thing. People be throwing Allen in like he's Gavin Williams and Bibee. No.
He ain't that level.
He's not at that level.
No.
His velocity
He
and
was
his stuff.
decent when he was up.
No, he's a nice pitcher.
He's a nice. Anytime.
But he ain't as good as the other two.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He
was
got.
solid.
All right, those are all. That's actually not bad. I mean, trade all those guys would help the Guardians. Bellinger would help the most, but he would cost the most.
Yeah.
And again, I think when you play in a big market like Chicago, if you're in contention and they're 4.5 games out is in contention, I don't think you could dump. You can't sell a fan base on dumping when you're a big market team.
And those teams actually do have people who care about baseball. Like they would be up in arms.
Yeah,
like
they'd
it's
be
kind
pissed.
like Cubs fans
Well,
actually.
he's a Cub fan.
Yeah, I mean they
pissed.
don't be playing that. They'd be like, bro, you traded.
I would be kind of pissed now if they traded Bellinger. I don't think the Cubs will win the World Series, but I think they could get to the playoffs, and you might as well go for it.
Who they behind in their division?
They're behind
Atlanta.
Cincinnati and Milwaukee.
Oh,
But in the wild card, they're only – so there's like – the wild card right now in the National League is crazy. There's six teams within a half a game of each other, and then the Cubs are 4 games behind those teams. So, and some of those teams have gotten cold as the season has gone along.
Yeah, Cincinnati is – They
had that hot streak.
and
now
then
they're
they kind of but they stay only a game and a half out.
And if you look at the National League, outside of Atlanta and the Dodgers, nobody's really that good. Those teams are really good.
I can't believe the Mets is like
They're a disaster.
I can't
The
believe
Mets last night.
it.
Think about this. The Mets have the largest payroll in the history of baseball.
It's crazy.
Their payroll, I believe, is about $350 million. They traded their closer, David Robertson, not a star, but he's done a nice job as their closer this year when Edwin Diaz got hurt. They traded him to the Marlins, who have the 23rd highest payroll. So the Marlins are going for it, and nobody expected the Marlins to be good. Congratulations to their GM. Do you know the Marlins GM is a woman? First female GM in the history of sports.
That's crazy.
Sports. She's done an amazing job.
Why is that not publicized?
Right? It's not a big. It hasn't been a huge story.
That.
Yeah, her name is Kim Ng, I believe, and she's done a magnificent job. That team has no payroll. You know, they have a payroll similar to the Guardians,
52
and they've been very good. They're having a tremendous season, and they've developed some good young players. And the $350 million Mets. If you look at the top 5 highest payrolls in baseball, the Mets are terrible. The Yankees are not very good. And who's the third team up there?
Angels got a high payroll.
And the Angels, thank you. They're the third team in the top 5, and they stink.
Well,
now, they just went for it. They traded for Carlos Rodon for the White Sox.
Yeah.
But I doubt they're going to make the playoffs.
The Angels is keeping. They
want to keep Ohtani. Did you guys see what he did yesterday?
He pitched a perfect game and then hit
Not
home.
a perfect game, but close.
Close. Yeah.
So first game, for those who don't know, the Angels played a doubleheader with the Tigers. Tyvus is right. He almost pitched a perfect game. He pitched a one-hit shutout through less than 100 pitches. One-hit shutout in the first game.
Hit a home run.
And then in the second game, he had two home runs.
Yeah.
This guy it's insane.
That's what
In a short sample size, I mean, it's hard to say. Like
they're not going to trade him though. So
yeah, they said that.
They're not trading.
They said that he's the one that's open to resign.
And in a smaller sample size, he might be the best player ever.
That's where everybody.
If he does it for another 6-7 years, I mean, we've never seen anything like this. For those who say Babe Ruth, first of all, I don't give a shit what you say. I don't care about any guys that did things before before the color barrier was broken, because it's bullshit. They should have all protested and not played until black guys were allowed to play. And I don't want to hear it's a different era. Tough shit. You should have known better. Okay? Number 2, Babe Ruth only pitched and hit full time one season. A lot of people don't know that. When Babe Ruth came to the big leagues, I can't remember what year it was, 1910, 12, I don't know. He was a pitcher, mostly a pitcher for the Red Sox. Now, in those days, there was no DH, so he did hit. And he was a decent hitter, but he wasn't hitting all the time. He was mostly a pitcher. His last year in Boston, he did both the whole season, and he was great at both. But that was 1 year. Then he got traded to the Yankees, and he never never pitched for the Yankees.
Yeah,
I mean, he threw like 5 innings or whatever.
It's different.
But he basically never pitched for the Yankees.
He might be.
So there's no comparison. We've never seen anybody like this.
And you know what's crazy is because Ohtani be playing. He could be playing multiple positions too. Like I feel like he could play center. I feel like he could play right if he wanted to play.
Well, they only
shortstop.
DH him because they don't want him to get hurt.
Right. But can you imagine?
He steals bases too.
Yeah, I know.
Can you imagine if he won a Gold Glove and pitched and won the Triple
Won the
Crown?
Cy. What if he won the Cy? He could win the Cy Young and the MVP. Probably won't.
Would you say that well, obviously we know who the first. Who's the second best player in baseball?
I think Barry Bonds is the second best.
No.
player.
I'm talking about
right
today.
now?
Today.
Oh,
No,
okay,
today.
okay.
I mean, I would have said Aaron Judge at the beginning of the season, but he's been hurt for most of the year.
Yeah.
Probably Ronald Acuna.
That's who I thought.
Yeah. To me, it's weird because he doing all this, he pitching and he hitting. It's just like
You ain't never seen him like
it's
that.
like
It's nothing he can't do.
I mean, he's over a lot of
It's nothing he can't do. That's crazy.
He leads the league offensively. Leads the league in home runs with 38, with triples. He leads the league in triples with 7. Leads the league with 62 walks. So he walks a lot too as a hitter. He leads the league with a .675 slugging percentage. He leads the league with a 1,070
All
OPS.
this on a contract year too.
And he's got a .298 batting average, a .395 on base. I mean, it's just insane. And then, okay, if that wasn't enough, he's got a .343 ERA. He had a couple of bad starts before this last one, so his ERA's a little, but still, .343 is still good. It's not elite, but it's still good. And he has struck out 156 batters in 120 2/3 innings.